What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Thank you for stopping in. Today we have a truly exciting unboxing to dig into for you guys. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, do me a huge favor. Hit the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it, everyone. Really helps push the video out there so more people can check it out. And feel free to let me know what you are carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So we have a box coming in, and this is from DLT. I'm just going to casually flip it out of the way here because I still have all my information on the front side. We're using the little Corvid there to unbox this guy just because it was handy. So what we are looking at, guys, and this is the first one that I have bought in quite a long time, and I'm really excited. Really excited. So we have a Microtech box, and that's always a cool thing. So let's see, what did I decide to order? Got a nice little pamphlet there, and we are looking at, oh man, yeah, this is beautiful. So we're looking at, guys, the Microtech Stitch. And this is the manual version, perfectly centered. We have the milled aluminum handles. And the cool thing is, I was on DLT's website, and that's just trouble from the beginning. But then I realized I had enough points to get like $40 off my next purchase. And I happened to see they had a couple stitches in stock, and this is a knife I've always wanted to pick up. And they happen to have the exact version I had my eye on for quite a while, the two-tone with the black aluminum, and it was in stock, and I was able to knock $40 off my purchase, which took this down below 300 bucks. And I was able to do 2-day shipping for like $4. So I did that, and I got this within 2.5 days of ordering it. I just received it. It just hit my porch. I got home from work, and there it was sitting, and here we are. This is, I knew this was a bigger knife. This is a very substantial knife. I forget what the total length is, but let's see here. So we're getting 3 inches of cutting edge, and then we have a nice general or a nice generous finger choil there, coming in at like 3 3/4 of total blade there, and then this is coming down 8.5 inches all day long. So definitely a good size. And then it has this nice little ramp here that I love knives that kind of have that design feature where they have a choil and then kind of like a ramp that's directly above it, and it just, you can lock in so well and have a ton of control over the blade and the entire knife in this grip, because your thumb's pushing down, your pointer finger is pulling up, and you just have a ton of control. This is going to be coming in, is it their M390? Yeah, okay, there it says M390 MK, which is basically just M390. So good steel. I don't know what Microtech is heat treating it at. I've heard all kinds of different things, that it's low, that it's fine, that it's good. I don't really know. And, you know, I don't really know. And either way, this knife is badass, and that's kind of what, and it's going to be extremely well made regardless. Fully USA made. Whether the heat treat's a little low, hey, we deal with that pretty much everywhere, so it's not the end of the world, at least not to me. If it is a little low, you know, it's not the end of the world to me. Do I want it to be the way it should be? Of course I do. But, you know, that's just the way it goes. This has, I handled a MSI, I think it was called, and That didn't have, this has much stronger springs than that MSI did. Does have a little bit of stick there. I can feel it when I really throw this thing out. It wants to stick a little bit, but that'll break in. That's just the tolerances and the spring. That'll, I'm guessing anyway, hopefully, but I think that'll break in probably once we fiddle with it a little bit, break it in a little bit, maybe a drop or two of oil in there. And the crazy thing about these knives here is they've been extremely hard to get since they pretty much were released. They've been just extremely hard to get. And, you know, I'm the type of person who, you know, I may want something. I may have wanted this very badly, but I guess I have the ability to wait. In some cases, there's times where I can't and I don't. But then there's other times where I can wait and I just choose to wait. I don't wait around, you know, every waking moment, checking and searching. You know, it's like a lot of knives. I've just happened to be late night surfing, and it just so happens the retailer put some on the website that evening or whatever the case may be. And I've stumbled onto a couple of knives. That's how I got my Harsey. That's how I've gotten a few different knives, and you know, that's kind of how I ended up with this one. I don't know if DLT still has these in stock. I'm guessing maybe not, but they might. Once the word gets out that they are there, they probably go pretty quickly. I don't think it's something that DLT, you know, puts out there for everyone. I think I found it under the restocks page, which isn't even under the new arrivals section. It's just under the restock. So if you're not looking there, then you're not going to even probably find them. So I just happened to check the restocks, and it's been a while since I had been over at DLT. And that's probably, realistically, that's probably my favorite retailer, DLT. They do an awesome job at keeping a wide range of knives, keeping them in stock, having good, fair prices, and their shipping department is the best. I mean, they get stuff out quickly. So, really love DLT. And I really love this knife. This thing is beautiful. Look at the black aluminum scales here. They have this nice kind of cross hatch pattern, or I don't know what the hell you'd want to call that. Some sort of cross style milling though. And then I don't know if that's probably steel, or no, maybe that's aluminum as well. So we have a steel pocket clip. I'm guessing this is aluminum. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing it's aluminum. It's not steel. And I don't know that it would be titanium. I guess it could be, but I'm going to guess that's aluminum as well. And then we have their coil spring in there. So this is going to be kind of like a crossbar lock on steroids. It's like a crossbar lock in the sense you have the tabs that you pull down, but it's nothing like the crossbar lock in the sense of the mechanism that is in here and that is locking up the blade. This is going to last way longer and be a lot stronger than your standard crossbar lock will be. The way this is designed, that pressure going up into the tang of the knife, like the way these coil springs are, it's going to be ultra strong. Called the Ram Lock from Microtech. Why don't we go ahead and we'll go ahead and run our typical function check on this thing. We'll get our issuing stitches Hank out here. I wasn't going to do this stuff, but why not? So good retention on the clip. Microtech is not a slouch, you know, when it comes to their designs and their quality control. They do that stuff very well. We will have a lower mounted deep carry clip here, so you'll have a little bit poking out of the pocket by design. That way you have a nice little landing spot here to pull this out of the pocket. Insanely good retention. And another place where Microtech shines, they shine on everything. You know, and like going back to the heat treat, could that be bumped up a little bit higher? Probably, without me knowing, for sure. Probably could. But you could say that about 9 out of 10 companies. So, you know, I kind of shrug my shoulders at that. But their quality control is amazing. And they typically do some of the best edges out of the box. And why don't we go ahead and we'll check that. We'll give it a nice test here with the old telephone book paper that just crumbles when you touch it. So we'll choke up here. Yeah, beautiful edge. Even on like their OTFs, the LUDT that I have from them came just extremely sharp, ridiculously sharp. If you've never handled a Microtech, you know, the OTFs are a little bit different because of the geometry of the blade. But when we're talking about like the LUDT, or something like this, or the MSI, something where the blade is going to be a little taller, have a little better geometry, they put some insanely good edges on this, and that is ridiculously sharp right there. Really, really nice edge. And the OTFs come with a good edge too. I have a couple Ultratechs from Microtech, and they come with a good edge. It's just that they're such a short blade that, you know, they can only, they're sharp, but they can only cut so well. They can only slice so well. But in the case of this thing, this is going to be an awesome cutter. It's extremely comfortable in the standard grip. Extremely comfortable. And then you can choke up, and this thing just kind of melts in your hand. Oh, man, this thing is wicked as hell. I've always wanted this knife. Ever since the first time I saw this knife, I've wanted it, and it was easy to get at this point. I think they're getting a lot easier to get. They can still be very hard to get, but they're getting a lot easier to obtain, which is nice for kind of the casual, you know, like me. I'm a casual buyer of Microtech. I have a couple. I'm not an insane Microtech buyer. I do like Microtech as a company, you know, and as their designs. They have some really cool stuff. And this is probably, this and the LUDT are two of my favorite knives from them, and I have both of them now, finally. And they have some other really, really good models as well that I won't mind getting my hands on someday. But I'm definitely going to be putting this thing in my pocket. Well, actually, it's just going to be going into my hand. Probably won't be able to pocket it too much because it'll be in my hand, but I'm going to be breaking this thing in. But it's got really good action. I was kind of thinking it would be like the MSI, but this seems to have, for whatever reason, better action than the MSI. Still having a little bit of lock stick if I really, well, it's like every now and again. It doesn't even matter if I do it light or, see, there was a light one and there it's sticking. Not a big deal. I think that'll go away in time. But that's just kind of the nature of the beast when you have extremely tight tolerances. I can feel a little, it needs some lube in there. And my guess is they probably don't fill these with lubricant and wax and oil. I can feel that it needs a little lube. But with that being said, in my experience, I've done both. I've oiled them out of the box when they were dry like this. And then I've also let them go for a few days and then oiled them. In my experience and in my opinion, if you get a knife that's like this, just let it go. Let it break in. Continue breaking it in for a few days. You know, whether it's button stick, lock stick, whatever it might be, the action, like on washers or something, if it's not a Spyderco, certain knives where the action should be better when it comes out of the box, or you're expecting it to be better, or the lock is sticking, let it go. Don't take it apart. Don't oil it. Just continue carrying it, flicking it, and do that for a few days. You know, maybe 4 to 7 days or something. Then at that point, after you have kind of worked the track in, you've kind of broken things in, then you can take it apart, or then take it apart and oil it, or then just drop a couple drops of oil in it. That's just my, you know, thoughts and, you know, experience. That way it kind of breaks in the way that it should. Because if I let this go and break it in without anything, it's going to kind of do its thing internally there and build its own pass and break itself in, opposed to putting lubricant in there and possibly hindering something in some way or another. It's kind of like covering up the break-in almost, kind of like a washer knife. You know, if it's on washers and you go pouring a bunch of lubricant in there, those washers are not going to break in the way that they should. They're not going to run their track the way that they should, because that lubricant's going to be in there, and you know, that's what's going to be giving it the action, opposed to the washers breaking in naturally and that being the reason the action becomes good. You know, another for instance is my Shaman out of the box. It was very tight tolerances. The action was, you know, lackadaisical. But after like 3 or 4 days of flicking that thing, no oil, no nothing, just purely flicking it and using it, that thing was broken in so smoothly within a few days. It was ridiculous. I didn't even need to oil it at that point. I think I ended up ultimately dropping a drop or two in there, but just because of the moving parts, it's a good idea. But it didn't even need it at that point. And that's probably ultimately what will be the case with this one. You guys will have to let me know, though. What do you think of the MSI? And is it a knife you've ever thought about getting? Have you ever had one? Or what is your favorite Microtech? That's another good question for you guys. What is your favorite Microtech? Because I want mine knowing, and then that way I can put my radar out on it possibly, and if I see something I like or hear something I like, maybe I will make that the next Microtech purchase that I snag. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I always appreciate that. If you're new here, we release videos just like this one every single day. Hit that subscribe button, ring the little bell. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thanks again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.